So, and it's recorded, so this way we can, you can go back and watch the recordings. All right, so we're pretty excited. Oh, Gabriel, you made it. Good morning.
Morning. How are you, Professor?
Good morning. A lot of you guys have had before, which is good. A lot of you haven't had me. That's good anyway. All right. So we had 95 people out of 105 that are supposed to be here. When you are signing on to Zoom, make sure you use your name because Watson's going to be doing a roll call. So he's going to take attendance. So if we don't know if you're using a pseudonym name or the name that it's not on the roster, you're going to be marked as absent. Okay, so use your name when you log on to Zoom. Okay, let's see how many people we got. All right, so at 96. Okay, so let's get this started. So is anybody having difficulties trying to sign on or with Zoom, internet, laptops? The school is renting or loaning laptops. So in case you're using your phone, and you want to use a laptop, you can get one from the school. And then also if you're having difficulties with your internet connection or you have to go to someplace other than your house, Spectrum and a couple of the other cable companies are giving special offers for free internet for 90 days. Or you could just take advantage of that. Okay. All right, do we have any questions to start off with? You guys can raise your hand and you can also go into the chat room and I can answer any questions, or Watson can monitor that and answer any questions. And Watson, let me know if there's something immediate that needs to be addressed. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start off with the syllabus. Okay, and then everybody, you should be able to see the syllabus on your screen right now. All right, so basically the first page, we're just going over, this is going to be something new for all of us. UCR is not a traditional online school, so this quarter they are. I can foresee many, many problems, so we'll address those problems and move along and address them and move along and solve them and just keep going. Okay, the main technology we're using is Zoom. For this classroom right now, we're going to be doing almost everything in Zoom live. So, and then the iLearn, we're going to have the syllabus assignments. I'm going to post class lectures, a link to it because everything's going to be recorded. You're going to do your tests and quizzes on iLearn. I'm going to use Calendly, which is just a scheduling program. So you guys can schedule office hours with me if you need to speak with me. And you can email me and we can do a Zoom meeting. So that's not a big deal. Okay. Course description. This is all your capstone. You guys are all seniors. So this is using the fundamental frameworks that you've learned in the other classes and incorporating everything all into one class. Okay. So we're going to synthesize all that lovely stuff that you learned in business, and we're going to use it to solve a business problem at what I'll talk to you about at the end of the syllabus. Okay. Analyze the frameworks and all that other good stuff. And above all, the most important thing about business is communicating clearly. Okay, prerequisites, you've all had these. If not, you've made arrangements so you can get into the class. Okay. Late assignment submissions, usually I do accept them, but they're 10% off every day. So don't be late, especially with your group project, because that one will not accept late because there's going to be 8 of you working on it and at least one of you can turn it in. Okay, cases, we're not going to do any of the HBR cases. We're just going to stick with the ones in the back of the book. The textbook is strategic management. You can go ahead and do whichever version you want, the digital version, traditional, it doesn't matter. There's a first edition and a second edition. So the second edition I know has all of the case studies that we're going to be doing in the back of the book. The first edition, I'm not sure if it has all of them. but it's up to you, whichever one you want to use, but just make sure it has all the case studies that we're going to do, and I'll go over those shortly. All right, class lectures, that's going to be a challenge. So we're doing it now, and we're going to keep doing it this way. So we will see what happens. All right, the entire syllabus is a mandatory reading. Unlike my other courses, this one's a core course, and it's going to be subject to higher grading restrictions. So this is basically how the breakout of the grades go. Usually a few people get an A+, a little bit more get an A, A-, and B+ is usually the standard, okay, or the average. All right, grades will be posted in iLearn. If you have any problems with your grades, you need to contact me immediately or Watson and let me know what's going on, because I do make mistakes. I'm not above admitting that. Isn't that right, Francis? So I have no problems doing what needs to be corrected. Just let me know, but you have to do it in a timely manner. You have to do it within a week, okay? The criteria for grading mini cases and quizzes. Excellent, superior, critical thinking, you get 5 points, 4 points for a good paper, 3 points for just walking through the motions. I don't expect anybody to get less than 3 points. So if you do, you're not doing a good job, and you need to, I'll definitely be talking to you sometime in the quarter about it. Okay. The mini cases are the studies assigned in the index of the textbook at the back of the book. We're going to be doing 4 of those. So every other week we'll have one due. And we're doing Walmart, Nike, Samsung, and Southwest Airlines. Okay. And those will be explained. I've already posted the Walmart one, which is due at the end of the week on Friday. And all the questions are posted for that, but we'll go over that in a little bit later. Okay. Class participation. We're going to have to modify this a little bit, but we will get, we'll do that. So we're going to be doing polls on the Zoom platform, and also I'm going to use Kahoots to do quizzes. So I think most of you are pretty familiar with Kahoots. So, all right, Diego, what's so funny? You over there laughing?
Sorry, Professor.
That's all right. All right, so class participation is worth 10% of your grade. Quizzes, like I said on the quizzes, are scheduled for every Monday. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have a quiz every Monday, and I'll explain that when we get to the slideshow. Okay, so, but I will drop one of the quizzes, the lowest score, or if you miss class and miss a quiz, then that will be the one you dropped. It's your responsibility to be prepared for each class meeting, and that means reading the material that is assigned for that week. Okay, so, and we will be doing those on the quizzes on Kahoots. All right, most of your grade in this class is going to be based on midterms and final exams. I've never administered one through iLearn, but I guess we're going to learn how to do that. And then that and the final project. Okay, so the midterm will be halfway through the quarter, and we're going to have multiple questions, and then we're going to have true false, and then there's going to be one of the frameworks that you're going to learn, that you're going to replicate and do. The final exam will be pretty much the same way. And during finals week, you guys don't have to worry about that, because your final exam will be the last day of class. So finals week, you'll have the whole week to concentrate on all your other classes and their finals. Okay, so anybody who's taken Josso's class, I'm sorry, but you know, you're gonna have to study extra for him. All right. Final project is a consulting case for Cascade Ceramic Company. For this, what you're going to do is you're going to solve a problem that Cascade has. And this is going to be something that you're going to need to work on throughout the quarter. So not just the last week or 2 weeks of class, but you're actually going to be working on this in your groups for the almost the full quarter, for at least halfway through to the end. Okay. And then your groups, by the end of week 2, you guys should all be in a group. I'm going to let you put yourselves into a group. If you can't find a group, then I will obviously assign you a group. And I believe the group is 8 people to a group. Okay, so I'm not taking groups of 6, 5, or 4, or 7. It's groups of 8. So there should be, depending on how the numbers play out at the total with all the students. So there'll be a couple of groups that'll be less than 8. They'll have 7, but for the most part, it's all going to be 8. All right. So your group project basically is a company called Cascade Ceramics. You're going to solve their problem of having a low revenue stream. And the way you're going to do that is by using the frameworks and the concepts and all the stuff that we're going to learn in the class throughout the quarter. All right. So questions. I'm going to stop here about every 5 minutes or so with questions. Okay, we got 2 in the chat room. What do we got? Any questions you can type in the chat room or raise your hand. All right, nothing about the syllabus. Everything looks good. You guys are okay with the syllabus? Yes, the groups do have to be in the same discussion group. If they are not, then you need to get that okayed with Watson or myself. Watson will be conducting the discussion groups, and the purpose of the discussion groups is to work on your group projects and to ask any questions and to get extra tutoring and extra office hours. Because obviously we can't make you physically go to your discussion group, so. All right. Everybody's enjoying their coffee, I see. Okay, Miriam, she's not even awake. She's just over there on the couch chilling. All right. Are we going to do any problems on Wiley? No, I do not like Wiley that much. And we're just going to use the textbooks, and then I'm using Cahoots and Calendly. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I'm the host and I can mute people. But you can unmute yourself. So far, I left that up to you, so don't get too chatty. Otherwise, I will mute everybody. Okay. Yes, you should say unmute unless you have something to say. Thank you, Francis. All right, please. Oh, yes, and register your name as it is on the roster, so we can make sure you when we do the attendance, so you make sure you get attendance. Zashi needs a link to registration. Are you not in this class, or how am I getting this? Watson, can you take care of that? Send him a link. Just nod your head, Watson, please. Thank you. All right. Okay, thanks, Watson. All right, so shall we move on? You guys good? We got 103, so we're only missing 2.
Wait. What's the registration for?
I don't know. Who needs a registration?
People just keep bringing it up in the chat, so I'm just not sure if I should be registering for something.
As far as registering, I don't know what they're registering for. They didn't say.
Okay.
Watson, can you find out what's going on with that with a private IM? Thank you. All right. Ready to move on? Okay, so questions, concerns, let's see. Okay, thank you. Got it. All right. Okay, so let's move on to okay, so student flex days. I don't know if you guys read that or not, but I posted that as an addendum to the syllabus. Normally I give 3 freebie days, no questions asked whatsoever, but one of the other professors came up with this, which seems to be a pretty good idea, so I'm going to adopt it. Basically, you get 4 flex days. You can use them however you want, whenever you want, no questions asked. All the rules, regulations, and all the good stuff are right here in front of you. So read it, love it, live it, learn it. So you know there's going to be times when your internet's not going to work, or what other reason you drank too much the night before and can't get out of bed. So whatever reason there is, right, Gabriel? So these are your freebies. So you get 4 of them, read it, and that's pretty much it for that. Okay. Questions about that? No, we're good. So if you don't turn your assignment in that's due on Friday, you get 24 hours, which would be business hours, so you can turn it in on Monday. So you got the whole weekend. All right. All right, so let's see how this works. This is the first time I've done this on Zoom. All right, so we got everything there. All right, so the quizzes are going to be a coin toss. Everybody's all freaking out about the quizzes. So let's see if this works. I've never tried this. Nope. Okay, so I do electronic coin toss. And no, it didn't work. Okay, so I was going to show you how the coin went. So you got a 50-50 chance of taking a test every Tuesday. So, but the thing is, you don't know which Tuesday you're going to take a test. So I flip a coin, heads, you take a test, tails, you don't take a test. So it kind of keeps you on your toes, keeps you reading your chapters. So if you get behind and don't read your chapters, you're not going to know when the quiz is. And then you're not going to know the answers to the quiz if we do have a quiz. So statistically speaking, you're going to have 5 quizzes throughout the quarter, but you just don't know when they're going to be. Okay, so be prepared every Tuesday for a quiz. All right, so back to the slideshow. All right. Kahoots we're going to use for quizzes. I don't know how many of you have used Kahoots before, but that is statistically speaking, it will not land on tails all 10 weeks. So if anybody's in statistics or even know anything about coin tossing, it's usually a 50-50 chance. All right. So we're going to use Kahoots for our quizzes. You can use on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone if you want to have your phone. And what'll happen is I'll pop up a, you're going to have to download it. And then I will pop up a little thing will pop up, a number that you enter, and it'll go into the whatever one we're doing. All right. So I think pretty much everybody is familiar with this. If not, I will have a link so you can sign up if you're not already signed up for it. Okay, questions about this? All right. All right, so questions about the syllabus? Yes, no, go ahead and put it on the group chat, or you can just talk to me, unmute your phone and talk to me. Okay, anything? No?
Yeah, I have a question.
What do you got?
Yeah, so let's talk about chapter 7 on Tuesday. If we don't, so you'll flip a coin, electronic coin, that Tuesday. And if it lands on head, we do have a quiz. And if not, there won't be a quiz for that week.
Correct.
Okay. But all the chapters, nonetheless, will still show up on the midterm and respectively the final.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So usually for this class, I make it pretty simple. Most everything is from the book. A few things are from my notes. But a lot of the stuff is straightforward, multiple choice and true or false. So you get multiple guess, you get a 50-50 chance on true and false. And then on the framework that I have you do, that's usually the most difficult thing to do. And everybody studies extra hard for that because I usually let them know it's one of 3 or 4 things. Okay. Just making sure it's is attendance. Yes. So everybody should be on the same Zoom call, and yes, attendance is taken. That answer your question, Michelle? All right. Okay, so okay, so these are going to be our case studies. Samsung, Southwest, Walmart, and that's actually my first pair of Nikes that I ever owned, right there. Picture of those. All right, so getting on with chapter 1, which we all read, correct, before we started our Zoom chat? Yes, everybody's shaking their head, yes. Okay, good. Okay, so what is strategy? The essence of strategy is choosing what to do. Strategy is about making choices, trade-offs. It's about deliberately choosing to be different. Sometimes strategy is just choosing to do nothing at all. Okay. So we will go through and define what strategy is and all that other good stuff. Okay. So you guys are all familiar with IBM being business majors and CIS majors, right? So a company's primary person often specifies the business or business in which the firm intends to compete or the customer intends to serve. So back in the 1920s, IBM made typewriters, and now they're making microchips. So these are completely different things, right? But IBM's mission statement has stayed consistent throughout the 100 years they've been in business, or over 100 years. And it is to lead in the creation, development, and manufacturing of the industry's most advanced information technologies. So in 1920, the most advanced information technology was a typewriter. Okay, now it's a microchip or a microcomputer. Okay, so a company's mission statement shouldn't just say, "Hey, we're making typewriters," or we're in the business of doing office equipment. It should actually say what their purpose is in their industry. Okay, and IBM has done a very good job over that over the years. IBM's Fortune 100 company. These are the milestones. Unfortunately, it probably didn't turn out very well. It's kind of hard to read, especially with my old eyes. But over the years, these are all milestones for IBM, and they've continued to be true in over the 100 years that they've done. So they've kept true to their mission statement. So how many people out there knew IBM went in business with the Nazis? Something you don't normally see. Yeah. So what they did is IBM's first computer basically is a punch card system. And this is how they kept track of all the Nazis that they put into concentration camps. And IBM, one of America's most powerful corporations, was part of that, and that's part of their history, unfortunately. But so that's basically for all you history buffs. All right. So let's pause. Do you have any questions so far? What do we got in the chat room? Never knew that. Most people don't, and that's very hard to find. Yes, the slides will be posted at the end of the week. I post all the slides. Okay. So if you want to take notes, but I will post the slides. Yes, as long as you're on Zoom call, attendance you'll be counted for attendance. Yes, I'm splitting up all of the weeks. I'm splitting up the weeks, and so you'll see that in the syllabus: week 1, week 2, week 3, and then I will post a link to the recording of each and all of these wonderful Zoom meetings. All right, and that's it. Okay, and don't be afraid to unmic your phone. Yes, they're on YouTube Live, by the way. We are live on YouTube right now, and it's public. So if you don't want the general, everybody in the whole wide world knowing what you're saying or doing or looking like, then this is your warning. Let's see. And okay, so let's move on. So this is what the quarter is going to look like. Week by week, we're going to do 1 to 2 chapters every week. Today we're doing mission statement, chapter 1, and everything kind of involved in the basics of business strategy. Chapter 2 is external analysis, which is the Industry structure. So what is the internal or external, I'm sorry, external factors that affect business, industry structure, opportunities, threats, and we're going to go over there. And then chapter 3 is internal analysis, which are resource capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses. So your SWOT analysis is going to be all covered in weeks 2 and 3. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's basically what you use to assess, give an analysis of any company or business situation that you're doing. Chapter 4, cost advantage. Chapter 5 is going to be differentiation advantage, and we're going to spend a lot of time on that because what makes a company different from its competitors gives it competitive advantage. Okay, corporate strategy, vertical integration, strategic alliances, which is also very important, international strategy for anybody who wants to do business internationally or is here studying business for international purposes. Disruptive business models, which you'll see Uber is a classic disruptive business model. Competitor interaction, game theory. We're going to touch upon game theory a little bit. Strategy implementation, governance and ethics. So you guys have all taken Josso's ethics class, you know all about that. And social value organizations. All right, so that's going to cover what we're going to do for the next 10 weeks. Questions? Let's see. In the comment, subscribe. Yes, it's been okay. All right, so far nothing, and nobody's unmuted their mic to ask a question, so on we go. All right, so what is business strategy? Business strategy basically is a plan to achieve competitive advantage. So whatever you do in your business strategy that gives you the advantage over your competitors is a good business strategy. Knowing what markets to compete in, there are many different markets. So if you're just planning on a new company, who are your customers going to be? What market are you going to compete in? What is your unique value of your firm? What unique are you going to bring to the party? The resources and capabilities required to offer that unique better than the competitors. What does your company specialize? Have they been making one product for 100 years and know how to do it better than anybody else? Okay, like IBM. Ways to sustain the advantage by preventing imitation. When IBM came out with the typewriter, they didn't actually invent it, but they came out and they perfected it, and the whole reason the QWERTY keyboard came out was because the keys kept sticking if you did them any other way. So IBM did a workaround around that. So they were one of the companies that learned how to do that unique value and put it into process. And the IBM Selectric typewriter used to sell for $3,000, if you can believe that or not. No, really crazy. Okay, so this is your SWOT analysis. All right, so internal, your strengths and weaknesses. External, your opportunities and threats. Okay, so that's chapter 2 and chapter 3 that we're going to go over next week. So characteristics of a business which give it advantage over its competitors is an internal strength, and characteristic of a business which make it disadvantaged related to competitors, which is a weakness. Okay, so if you make something that you can only patent or copyright for a few years, like in the pharmaceutical industry, you're going to try and make as much money as you can possibly out of that, and before they make it generic. Okay, opportunities, elements in a company's external environment that allow it to formulate, implement strategies to increase profitabilities. So for example, Zoom is seeing the opportunity right now to capitalize on making more money. So their stock has been up, I think, 20% now since all of this has happened. Okay, so they see an opportunity along with a lot of other companies that see opportunities online. I tried to go get a camera so I can do this not on my laptop, but with a professional camera. They're all sold out. So the opportunity there is, it's incredible. Like companies that make the cameras, their stocks are going up. Okay, so threats, elements in an external environment. Okay, and the profitability that will challenge the profitability of a company. Okay, so for example, the burger wars, you know, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. So they're always competing against there's always a threat of something new coming out. That's why you always see their menus change so much, is because there's always a threat of them coming out with something new that everybody's going to go there and order instead of going to McDonald's. Okay. Markets to pursue, how a strategy is achieved. What industry, product, geographic markets are most attractive as business arenas? So markets to pursue, when you're starting a business, you want to know which industries. For example, Walmart, when they went into India, was not a good fit for them. They didn't do their market research. Unique value to offer. I'm not going to talk more about that because that's part of our quiz, or that's part of our mini story. Unique value offer to offer. What value proposition will unique value relate to competitors in the area of cost differentiation? For example, Amazon, when they first started off selling books, that was a unique proposition that they had. Nobody else was doing it online. They did it cheaper, they did it better, they did it quicker than anybody else could do it. Okay. Resources and capabilities to develop. For example, Walmart has the resources, the distribution resources, unlike any other company in the world, especially in the United States. Okay, sustaining advantage, how to create barriers to imitate to prevent other companies from offering the same value. All right, so somebody give me an example that a company has created a barrier that you cannot imitate easily or inexpensively. Go ahead. Very good, John. Disney is a excellent example, and we're going to talk a lot more about Disney in later chapters. But in order for somebody to create the same thing that Disney has is absolutely insane. There would be no way they can do it because just of the cost factor.
Okay.
Starbucks is good, yeah.
Does this have to do with anything like of patents and trademarks? Because you said barriers, right?
Correct, barriers, sustained advantage.
Okay, so like this has nothing to do with like I said, patents and trademarks, because I mean those are obstacles that like.
Those are, for example, Xerox had the trademark for making copiers for many years, and that's how they entrenched themselves in the copier industry. So pharmaceutical companies do trademarks. So yes, sustained advantage is one example, is a trademark. Very good. Apple, Starbucks, the airlines, yes. It's actually easier to get a loan to start an airline than it is to start a car company. Why do you think that is? Yeah, Google's a whole entity upon itself. I'm not sure, what do you mean by 2-day shipping, David? So the problem with getting a loan for an airline is, even though the company goes bankrupt, the aircraft's worth millions and millions of dollars in the inventory that they can actually resell. If you get a loan for a car company, your manufacturing plant that you make and the cars that you make are almost worthless by the time you end up making them, and you have to resell them. So the bank says it's a good investment to loan money to an airline and let it go bankrupt, and they can resell all its assets and make actually just as much, if not more money from selling the airline or the airplanes than they can from making the loan. Okay. So Amazon offers 2-day shipping. Yes, but that was an advantage, I think, in the beginning. But what's happening is companies like Amazon and Walmart and a lot of other companies now are actually able to duplicate that. So with the help of FedEx and UPS and even the US Postal Service, they're able to duplicate that. So even though in the beginning that was kind of something that set Amazon apart, it's not so much anymore. Uber is a very disruptive, was a very disruptive company in the beginning. They almost put the taxi cab industry out of business. In New York City, um, taxi cab drivers cost about $500,000 for one car for a medallion that is necessary to in order to be a taxi cab driver. And Uber came in and almost put all those guys out of business, and the government had to come step in and regulate Uber in the big cities in order not to do that. And food delivery starting to that's another thing that they took advantage of, right, with all this is going on. So that's an excellent suggestion. Yes, and there are a number of food industry deliveries now, even ones that you don't know about that are doing stuff like the food kits for home, like fresh. Um, we use one of the food kits here, and so there's transportation companies popping up overnight just doing those deliveries for certain areas. So not just for the food, the fast food, and going to pick up your food and dropping it off, but also for other companies becoming distribution delivery companies. Yeah, HelloFresh, exactly. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Um, okay, so let's move on. All right. Okay, so whatever it takes to create a competitive advantage. I can see here we have our Venn diagram. Your customers, your offer, and when you meet them in the middle and meet what your customers think, you do a competitive advantage. Your competitor's offer is also there, so you got to be very careful, and it will actually, like in the industry that I'm in. I've been in the office equipment industry for 20 years. I've owned my own company, and that industry is like one of the most competitive industries you can ever be in. So, all right, so let's stop here for some questions. What about things such as the College Board and the Graduate Management Admissions Council who are in charge of tests like the SAT and the GRE? Was there a question in there? Richard? Oh, okay. Very good. All right, so I want you guys to weigh in. What do you think so far about this teaching process? Other than the commute's pretty good. All right. We'll take a little bit, like a minute or two break if you guys need it.
I think you said that the hospitality business is really competitive.
Yes, it is.
Why is that?
In what type of hospitality? The restaurant business, the hotel industry? What are you referring to, Anya?
I guess whichever. I guess whichever one you were like referring to, or
Like the Burger Wars? Have you ever heard of economic indicator of the Big Mac?
not of. No, I haven't.
Basically, the cost of a Big Mac in different economies in different countries is how they rate, is how you can rate, because a Big Mac is actually consistent in everything except for price in different countries. So it's $9 in Sweden, or well, actually it's $12 now, and $6, $7 here in the United States. So you can judge economics in different countries by the Big Mac indicator. I'll go over that later in the course. But it's very competitive. The price is very cheap. The food, almost all the food can be the same. I don't know if you noticed, but if somebody comes out with a very popular item in one restaurant, they copy it really quickly. So it's easy to imitate. All of the entries to barrier are very, very simple. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we got the chats on, were you guys chatting on YouTube too? Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna add a question on my poll. Okay. All right, I've never done this before, so let's pray it works. So this is kind of a test. No, it didn't work. Oh, that's why. Okay, so we'll go on. I'll play with that a little bit later. Okay, so far, how are we doing? 43 chats, that's not bad, good. You need to open the YouTube stream? No, you don't need to use your YouTube stream. I did that so for recording purposes and for people who have not enough bandwidth to access Zoom. So they can just download that at a later time and watch it. Yes, it's going to be on Zoom also. I think Zoom automatically records everything. I should get a email with a link on it at the end of when I close the meeting. The poll, I haven't done the poll yet. All right. All right, so back to the slideshow. You guys ready? So we got a few minutes left in the class. Kimberly, you look bored out of your mind. All right. I think that's just a picture. All right, let's see here. All right, so back to the slideshow. Okay, so your mini case Walmart. I posted those on iLearn, so everybody has access to that. And then also the questions and the format it's going to be laid out in, and I'll discuss that in a few moments. Okay, strategic management is competitive advantage. Knowing what markets to compete in or not to compete in, where to go, and when to get out. What a unique value the firm will offer in those markets, the resources and capabilities required to offer that unique value better than the competitors, and ways to sustain the advantage by preventing imitation. For example, Walmart has a very hard time in China. They're starting to get a little bit of foothold there, but because of the way the competition works and the way the markets are, they're having a very slow time getting a good foothold. For example, Walmart went into Germany and lasted a year, and they lost billions of dollars and pulled out and said, no, we can't. They couldn't make it there. So you would think a company as big as Walmart, the world's largest company, can just go anywhere and do anything they want, but they can't. Okay. So the unique value that Walmart offers, it does not translate to other countries sometimes. They have a very difficult time in South America, but they're making more and more headway there. All right. So your mini case questions, I'm going to have you answer these in a 2-page report, and all of the good things are all specified there, and I'll go through that in a few moments. The questions are, why has Walmart been successful? What is the single most important factor that has contributed to Walmart's phenomenal success? Why exactly are Walmart costs lower than its competitors? So I want you to examine each of the elements between cost of goods sold, labor, rent, advertising, distribution, technology. Okay. So not only can you use the information that's in the back of the book by reading the case study, but you can also do a little bit of research on your own. Okay. And I do encourage it. Okay. Why can't Walmart's competitors imitate Walmart and realize similar high profits? So why does Target have a hard time competing with Walmart? They don't do nearly the dollar amount that Walmart does. You know, Target might be nicer, you know, get the screaming brats and all that other good stuff, but you know, they don't get the people, they don't get the traffic. Okay, so if you were running Target, what would you do differently? Or if you would do anything differently, do you want to differentiate yourself from Walmart and keep that Target soccer mom mentality? Okay. Why do you think Walmart has had different difficulty succeeding in foreign markets, especially in emerging markets like Brazil, South Korea, and like I said, in Germany, they couldn't even make it very long. Okay. So what would Walmart do to respond to the emerging trend of online purchases, and more specific to the threat of Amazon.com as dominant online retailer? So basically, Amazon is a behemoth on online, right? We all agree? Just shake your head, yes. Okay. So we all agree that Amazon is a behemoth. They own the Zappos, which is the shoe company, Alexa, Whole Foods Market now, you know. So they're trying to move to what Amazon or to what Walmart is what is right now. For example, their Whole Foods acquisition. Okay, so now they're competing with the grocery part of Amazon, and Amazon is competing with the grocery part of Walmart is competing with Amazon for the groceries now. Okay, so that's one thing you want to examine. Okay, and then Amazon has their own delivery service now. So in my industry, in my business, we used FedEx and UPS, and Amazon does deliveries now. So how is that competing with not only with Walmart but with all the other industries? And Amazon's to the point now where they told FedEx that they're not going to use them anymore. So when I was selling items on Amazon, I couldn't even use FedEx as an option to ship because Amazon made it so expensive that it deterred me from shipping on Amazon or on FedEx. Okay, so they can manipulate the markets that way when you get big enough. All right. So what's new and what's due? Thursday before class, read chapter 2. Friday, we're going to have the mini cases due at midnight.
Professor.
Yes, Gabriel.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions based off the mini case. So I noticed that you had 5 questions related to Walmart. Do we choose one and then write a 2-page paper on that, or we have to answer all 5 of those questions in a 2-page essay?
I believe there's more than 5 questions.
Oh, well, the ones that you mentioned on your slides right now, I may have miscounted, but
I posted, let's see. Here we go. All right, good question, Gabriel, because that was my next subject. All right, so this is the Walmart mini case questions that you need to answer, 2 pages, okay, single spaced, and I want you to do it in the same exact format. In the header, your name, instead of Professor Kenneth Weigel, you're going to put Gabriel Rodriguez, and then the Walmart mini case number 1, and this is all single spaced. If you're used to double space, or sometimes people put triple space, I don't know what they do, but anyway. So this is all single spaced. You can use this format if you want. It is posted. Okay. So what is the single most important factor that has contributed to Walmart's phenomenal success? I don't know. Maybe it's in their tag, the low price leader. You never know. What exactly are Walmart's costs lower? Why exactly are Walmart's costs lower than its competitors? Okay. Examine each element of the cost structure, cost of goods, labor, just something briefly touch on each of those. So be concise, get to the point, because I'm not going to let you go more than 2 pages. I mean, you can go on for 10 pages on all of these subjects, but just a brief answer that is basically covered in chapters 1 and 2.
And so we just write our answer underneath, right? So like the question, why exactly are Walmart's costs lower than its competitors? Just write underneath our response on that.
You can, yes.
Okay.
Okay. I just put this up as an example, and these are the questions I want you to answer.
Okay.
In this exact same format. Did I mention that I wanted you to do this in this exact same format? Just check. Just shake your head, yes. Everybody, yes. Okay. If you see me keep looking to my right or to your left, it does. I don't know how it is. I have another monitor set up, so I can see what you guys are seeing, just to make sure. Like the coin toss didn't show up for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. So how are we doing on time? I have you guys until 10:50. All right. So these are the questions I want you to answer. Okay, these are all on iLearn. All right. Okay, so if you only have one name, like Sandra and Daisy, make sure Watson knows who you are and that you are your attendance. Vivio, I don't know who that is. A name doesn't look familiar, so make sure Watson knows who you are. Sydney. Okay. Everything else looks pretty good. We should be able to identify you when we do roll call. All right. Let's see, what else do we got? Questions?
Hi, Professor. I have a question. So,
Yeah.
here's Watson. So for the question of the mini case, I think there are like maybe two questions overlapped. So like the third question, I think, third and the fourth question, they are a little bit overlapped. So do we need to answer each of them, or like we can answer like
You
the
don't have to answer any of them.
Okay, so like the third one, why exactly the Walmart's cost lower than its competitors? Because elements is showed on the fourth question.
Okay, so you're saying 3 and 4 are similar?
Yeah, 3 and 4. So uh
There's one particular reason why Walmart's prices are lower.
uh,
And the next question, each of these items also contribute to the the low cost of Walmart. So I want you to just touch a little bit on each and every one of these.
okay,
Okay.
okay, I see.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You guys bagging on Jasso? I didn't get that. Point should be used in the syllabus. Yes, I mentioned on the syllabus, 12-point font. And then again, if you use this template, it's already at 12-point font. See in the corner up and top, 12-point font. Okay. Questions, see this right here, justified? It's also on justified. So feel free to use this form. All right. Other questions? Let's see. One new message. Okay. No, you do not have a quiz today. I told you no quiz today. Jocelyn wants 10-point font. Should I change it to 10-point to be consistent? No? No, guys. All right. Okay, so it appears that we have more questions about quizzes. Okay, Brianna, the quizzes are going to be a coin toss. So you may have them, you may not have them. So at the beginning, every Tuesday, I'm going to toss a coin, and they're going to be over the chapter that you should be prepared for in class lecture. Okay. Other questions? The quizzes are going to be on Kahoot, so we'll be able to do it that way. All right. So does everybody have their book? Any problems getting the book? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. All right. So what else do I have to share with you? Let's see here. Other than what is on iLearn, let's see. Or no, that's not it. All that stuff is on iLearn. And let's see. So I am pretty much completed for today. So I will take questions if you guys want to stay in and ask me for the next few minutes, but you are free to go. Finish your coffee, your breakfast, and I don't know, is everybody just kind of staying in the house? Yeah. Avoiding everybody else? Frances is laughing. She's ready
There
to
is no other way around it.
Yeah.
Everyone's stuck at home.
the kids driving you crazy yet?
No, thank God.
All my kids are grown and out, so I don't have to worry about them. Questions about me, the class, personal questions? Anybody want to know anything about business? I've been in business for many, many years. Teaching is new, business is old. No, I updated the syllabus. So this, go by this, the course schedule. So I updated it, so chapter 3 says quiz on the right side here, and it'll say chapter 3. So this is everything we're going over on the quizzes. The quizzes are simple. If you do the reading, they're going to be very easy. I'm not going to make them difficult. I'm not going to take anything from the footnote. They're going to be something on the main concept of the chapter. So if you read the chapter, you will get the answers on the quiz. I'm not going to be something sneaky like a footnote at the very bottom. It says, what does IBM stand for? Extra bonus points, go ahead and put it in the chat. What does IBM stand for? You can't Google it. Don't Google it. Type it in chat. Nobody knows what IBM stands for? No due. International Business Machines Corporation. Very good. Way to go, Nicholas. All right. Good job, guys. You guys are excused, but I'll stick around for a few moments and answer any questions that you have. You can unmute your mic or type in questions. No, 7 people in a group is not too much because you're going to have 8 people in a group. So if you can't find somebody, I will assign somebody to your group. Or if you want me to just go ahead and assign all the groups together. Do you want me to assign everybody a group in a group? No. Yes. No. Paulina says yes. Brianna says no.
I have a question.
Sure. What's up, Matt?
Just to be clear, you want us to follow the format of the reading notes you posted, like, or the case study, like, and answer all the questions, right? Sorry.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, so pick your own groups. If you can't find 8 people in a group, I will assign people to your groups. Okay, so Watson's in charge of that. He will give me a spreadsheet of all the groups. So email Watson and CC me all your groups. If you have 8 people to a group, that's good. If you get 7, that's fine. And then I'll add to your group. Yes, I'm going to put the slides on iLearn at the end of the week. Thank you, David. Okay.
Hi, Professor. As so many students ask, could they like join a group not in their discussion section?
I would like, you know what, since we're not meeting physically, I don't see a problem with that. If we were meeting physically, then I would say no, but yeah, they can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So I posted that on the chat. So groups of 8, and they do not have to be in your discussion group. All right, so next week we go over chapter 2. And the Walmart, we'll do a little bit more about Walmart. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. And you're excused. So get on with your life. Go have fun. Goodbye, Brianna. Thank you, everyone. And feel free to leave a comment. And you can also do a reaction. Woohoo. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to end the meeting now, unless anybody has any more questions. And you can always email me. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Christopher.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Carolyn.
I missed what business you said you're in. Do you mind repeating?
I am the office equipment industry. My company is a office equipment dealer for Xerox, HP, Canon, Brother. We sell copiers and do information systems type of service.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'll see everybody on Thursday. I'm going to sign out now if there's no more questions. All right, see everybody next week. Or no, Thursday, I'm sorry. Thursday, not next week.